an article from the Times this week. Tampa Bay is one of the nation's top 10 areas for real estate investors. When we say real estate investors, it's both flips and rental properties. These are people that are buying the home for a financial gain. And still very affordable for investors to buy rental property, and there's still opportunities for people to buy, renovate, and flip homes. That's something our company has we do that as well. We represent a lot of clients that flip homes. We represent a lot of clients that look for rental properties, and still a great opportunity for that. If you're someone who's in town, maybe vacationing, and you're just catching our show, and you're thinking about buying investment property, or somebody who just wants more investment homes, second homes, or whatever in Tampa Bay, we'd love the opportunity to help you with that. It's something we do a lot of. And we definitely have a lot of clients that do that. I wanted to talk. Sarasota is obviously a big investor market too. A lot of second homes, a lot of vacation buyers that buy and rent it out seasonally through like Airbnb or VRBO, and then use it for parts of the year. So that's a big part of Sarasota as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We actually stayed at an Airbnb this weekend.
Oh,
my
cool.
wife and I, just for a staycation, because Grandma was there with the kids. But one of the properties that we just sold is going to be used for a monthly rental on Siesta Key.
Yeah, it's a real common thing for Sarasota and a big investor market, and I think a lot of investors are misled into believing that all the transactions have to be cash. There's obviously still a lot of cash out there, probably too much cash. People need to, the rates are so low, there's more people that need to finance. But David, expunge some of the myths that people have, about rates and fees and costs on investor loans, because they're not as expensive as people think.
Yeah, they're not. And then, so there's a difference. There's buying a primary home, there's buying a second home, there's buying an investment property. And so if you're buying a second home, typically the rates are going to be basically the same as a primary home. If you buy an investment property, rates probably going to be about half a point higher.
Which
so
is not.
We're still
which
talking.
Is, it used to be 2 points.
We're still talking mid fours.
Yeah.
And which is, I mean, again, 10 years ago, any other time in history, you're thinking,
yeah,
man, I wish I could get that on a primary home.
Right.
And fees, you have to get a little bit more intense appraisal that kind of analyzes the rental market and everything like that. But assuming you can qualify, you've done your due diligence with your own finances, yeah, it's definitely an option. I mean, 20% down is the norm for investment. It's not this no down that we
for a single family. Sometimes a little different with condos and
condos are a little different. Probably 30% is the norm for condos. But yeah, there's a ton of that. I mean, why wouldn't someone look to invest in Florida? We got water on both sides. We're the only state that has that. No income tax. I mean, it's prices are
still very affordable. You can buy homes and rent them out for decent returns, and that's something that not a lot of markets around the country have. I talk to friends that are real estate brokers at different conferences around the country and around the world, and very few of them have what we have right now, which is still affordable, still good investor market, prices rising, good employment. I mean, there are a lot of great things going on in Tampa Bay. And it's kind of a stroke in the direction of all the great things in Tampa Bay when you see someone like Jeff Vinnick doing what he's doing, because I'm pretty sure a guy that has his resources did his research to make sure that Tampa was a good market to spend $1 billion in.
Right.
But what's interesting about that is it should tell the homeowners that are out there that are kind of sitting on the fence, or prospective homeowners sitting on the fence, that if this guy is signing off on spending this kind of money on the Tampa real estate market, it's probably a pretty good bet. It's probably a pretty good bet. So, but from an investor perspective, it is more competitive than it was a few years ago. It's a lot harder to find that good opportunity, those diamonds in the rough. Those opportunities that would come across my desk a year or two ago, to buy homes at a discount. I don't see as many of them anymore. That doesn't mean they're not out there. It just means they're fewer to pick through. So it's a little more competitive. More people are investors. But what I would tell you is, if you've thought about getting into the rental property game, and owning rental property and creating wealth, don't think you just have to do it with your own capital. There's ways you can finance it, like David's talked about. You can buy homes using retirement funds and 401k and IRAs. You can do it that way. So there's a lot of different creative ways that you can take advantage of the 10+ percentage points in appreciation we're getting, as well as the great rental market that we're in.
One creative thing we talked about last week along the same lines was the fact that a lot of people, what used to happen a lot of times was, children going to universities, children going to college, and they want to buy a property for them. Obviously, the kid probably doesn't have enough income to qualify.
Yep.
But if the parent wants to still do that, you can buy that as a primary home as a co-borrower.
That's a great option too for kids who are going to UT or USF.
Now you can do low down payment.
If you're local and you're thinking about putting your kid in school at UT or USF and putting them in the dorms or putting them in student housing, run some numbers. run some numbers, and I think you'd be surprised and impressed with what kind of return you can get by just buying it, and then maybe they bring a buddy in and you have a couple of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great option for local people as well as non-local people. If you're looking to do it in another market, maybe your kid got into Harvard, you know, maybe your kid got into UCLA, who knows? But wherever that part of the country is, look at the rental market there. You'd be surprised at how often you might be able to make better money. It's hard to do in LA because of rent control, but there's parts of the country where you can.
I have a lot of buddies that did it in Gainesville for University
Yeah,
of Florida.
Gainesville's a great option for it. So